Imagine someone insulting you, belittling your work, or throwing a direct provocation at you in front of others. Most people would feel their blood boil, their face heat up, their thoughts speed up, and that almost automatic urge to strike back. But what if you could break this cycle? What if no word, no gesture, and no attitude from anyone could disturb your peace? What if you could truly become untouchable? The truth is, this is not a fantasy. The ancient Stoics developed a clear method, so you would never again be dominated by anger. And when you understand what is really behind every emotional explosion, everything starts to make sense. Because anger does not begin in the insult, it begins in the interpretation, and that is exactly where your power lies. Today you will learn how to rebuild your mind from the inside out so that no person, no matter how aggressive or disrespectful, has the ability to pull you away from your center. The path exists, it works, and if you're willing to practice it, it can change the way you live every single day of your life. The great masters of Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, already knew that mastering your own mind was the most valuable skill a human being could develop. Marcus Aurelius, who was nothing less than the emperor of the greatest empire of his time, faced pressures that few people today could endure. And even so, he wrote daily reminders to himself that people would be arrogant, unjust, and ungrateful, but that he could never allow this to take away his stability. Seneca taught that anger is a form of temporary madness because it makes you hand over control of your life to someone who does not deserve it. And Epictetus, who began life as a slave, understood that someone is only truly free when no one else has power over their inner peace. These teachings have survived for centuries because they are true and because they work in any era, culture, or circumstance. And now you are going to learn how to apply them to your life today. It doesn't matter if you deal with difficult people at work, complicated family members, aggressive colleagues, or strangers who try to provoke you. What you are about to hear can become the foundation of your emotional stability for the coming years, and maybe for your entire life. Attitude 1. Reframe insults. The first key to never getting angry at anyone is understanding that an insult only hurts because you allowed it to. Nothing someone says has an automatic impact on you. The impact is created by the story you tell yourself about it. Seneca said we suffer more in imagination than in reality, and this is exactly how anger works. A word has no weight on its own. The weight is in the interpretation. When someone offends you, your first habit should be to think, does this really say something about me, or does it say something about the person who said it? You will realize that, almost always, the provocation is simply a reflection of the other person's frustration, not your identity. Hurt people hurt others. Insecure people attack. Frustrated people look for someone to unload their tension onto. When you train your mind to see insults as meaningless noise, they lose their power. The next time someone tries to diminish you, pause for just 1 second. In that second, ask yourself, is this really about me? That single question breaks the automatic reaction, and when you break the impulse, you regain control. This is where anger begins to disappear, because you realize it was never personal in the first place. Attitude 2. Control what is in your hands. Epictetus repeated that some things depend on us and others do not. And the source of anger is almost always the attempt to control what cannot be controlled. People's words, their opinions, their attitudes, their judgments, none of that depends on you. But your response does. Your calm does. Your choice does. The moment you accept that you are not responsible for what comes out of other people's mouths, but you are fully responsible for how you respond, something profound shifts. You stop wasting energy trying to make the world behave the way you want, and you start redirecting that energy toward yourself. When someone tries to provoke you, ask yourself the classic Stoic question, is this under my control? If the answer is no, and it almost always will be, you let it go. You release it. You stop fighting the impossible. And by doing that, you keep intact the only thing that should always be protected, your peace. Because no one can steal your tranquility unless you give them permission. Attitude 3. Visualize difficulties before they happen. This may be the most underestimated technique in Stoicism. The Stoics called it premeditatio malorum, the anticipation of adversity. Instead of being caught off guard, they prepared their minds for daily challenges. Marcus Aurelius wrote every morning that he would encounter selfish, aggressive, and ungrateful people, He didn't do this out of pessimism, but out of realism. When you expect the world to be perfect, everything irritates you. When you expect flaws and difficult behaviors, you remain unshaken. Imagine that tomorrow you will face criticism, rudeness, delays, small injustices, and maybe even humiliation. Now imagine that, despite this, you have already decided that none of it will have power over you. When these situations actually happen, you won't be surprised. You will simply recognize what you had already predicted, and something remarkable happens. The emotional impact decreases dramatically. A prepared mind suffers less. You become like a mountain. The wind hits, but it doesn't move you. Attitude 4. Respond with calculated indifference. Nothing disarms someone more quickly than your calmness. Anger needs fuel to grow. When someone tries to provoke you and you respond with serenity, the situation loses its power. Imagine a fire. Without oxygen, it dies. Anger works the same way. When you offer a slight smile, maintain a composed posture, or simply choose not to react, something powerful happens. The person who attacked loses control of the situation. You are not being passive, you are being strategic. You are showing that you do not depend on anyone's approval to remain stable. Responding with indifference is not ignoring the world. It is consciously choosing what deserves your energy. Always remember, true strength does not appear when you explode, but when you stay unshaken. And with time you realize that this is one of the purest forms of emotional freedom a human being can achieve. Attitude 5. Strengthen your mind every day. None of these techniques work without training. The mind, just like the body, needs continuous exercise to become strong. This means setting aside a few minutes each day to reflect on your emotions, write down your patterns, identify what upset you and why. The regular practice of journaling, meditation, and self-awareness creates an internal shield that becomes increasingly resistant. Each day that you observe your emotions without reacting automatically, you expand your self-mastery. And with this mastery, you discover something transformative. No one can provoke you when you truly know yourself. Anger becomes something you recognize before it even appears, and you interrupt it before it has the chance to grow. Over time, you realize something even more powerful. Your reaction no longer depends on others, only on you. When you put all of this into practice, the reframing of insults, the focus on what is under your control, the visualization of difficulties, the calm and strategic indifference, and the daily discipline of strengthening your mind, you develop what the Stoics considered the true shield of the soul, inner stability. Becoming untouchable does not mean becoming cold or indifferent to the world. It means becoming the master of yourself. It means living every day without giving control of your peace to someone who never earned that privilege. And now comes your challenge. Over the next 7 days, every time someone tries to irritate you, you will respond with absolute calm. Observe how the person reacts. Observe how you feel. Observe how your life changes. And then come back here and share your experience in the comments. If this video brought you clarity, strength, or perspective, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel Stoic Spring, and activate notifications. This is not just a simple gesture, it is a commitment to your own evolution. With each video, you strengthen your maturity, your inner peace, and your ability to live a life guided by reason and serenity. The journey continues, and you are just getting started. I'll see you in the next video.